I'd like to start off actually, I think in a child's posture today. I want to start by doing a little bit of movement and then making our way to our backs. So make sure that you have blankets or blocks on hand. We'll see if we're going to use them today. But let's start off in child's posture. And it's just a nice way to be able to kind of release anything that is creating any inner movement, any movement that could be turbulent, or it might be beautiful and gentle, but whatever it is, we want to become aware of that inner motion. And this is a great way to do it as you start to release the body and relax and step into the spirit of your practice. So let's be aware of the different motion and the different planes of matter that we exist on. So maybe the most obvious is the physical plane, so paying attention to the motion of the physical body. As you're stepping into this awareness, letting the head be supported if it isn't already, and letting the head get heavier as you become more aware of the head. Let the neck relax, becoming more aware of the neck. Watching the trunk move or any other parts of the body. And take a nice, long, deep breath into the body. Settling the body. Let's move into the next plane, the emotional plane, where we're sensing feelings or emotions moving through within. Being aware of what those are at this time, in this very moment. And then taking a long, deep breath into that space of the emotions and the feelings. And settling the emotional body. And now let's go further into the mental body, so the mental plane, paying attention to the thoughts. What sort of mental energy is moving within. And let's take a long, deep breath. Breathing into the mental body and letting it settle. Now let's come back into the body and pay attention to it. Be with it through the duration of this practice. Let's start to move the body a little bit. So begin to extend the arms forward. Maybe walking the hands forward while the sitting bones stay down towards the heels, and lifting the forearms and starting to feel some opening underneath the shoulder blades, around the shoulder blades. You find lots of extension in the back and the arms. And as you're here, start to breathe systematically. So maybe you come into Ujjayi pranayama, or another form of deep, long breaths. So let's engage victorious breath and just see if that's where you want to continue. Taking a breath in through the nose, opening, fogging out through the mouth. Mouth stays open, fog in through the mouth. Close the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. Pay attention to the motion of the trunk. Make sure that you find full, complete yogic breaths. Working from belly to collarbone on inhale, from collarbone to belly on the exhale. Now let's start to move a little bit. Let's lift the head up. And then just arch the neck. So as if you're trying to look up, but keep the palms down, the forearms lifted, the hips down. Exhale, lower the head once again. On the inhalation, lift the head. And this time on the exhalation, walk the hands over to the right off of the mat, all the way to the side of the mat with the palms down. Again, the forearms lifted, lifting the head. If you can get the head down with the forearms lifted, that's fine too. But we want to look for that extension now. Another deep breath. And then we'll walk over to the left. With the palms down. Again, maybe head lifted a little bit, but forearms lifted. And then we'll walk over to the center of the mat. From here, we'll lower the head down, just taking a nice exhalation, maybe an inhalation, exhalation, maybe a nice sigh. And then when you're ready, rise up to table posture, hands and knees. We've had these hip flexors contracted for a little bit, so we're going to bring the knees so that they're underneath the hips if they were a little bit wider. And then let's just focus on wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, belly being pulled up a little bit. And then inhale, straighten the right leg, pressing through the heel, lifting it behind. And just be here for a moment. So finding some extension now in that hip crease. And some activity in the glute. Now start to send the crown of the head forward. Start to press into the palms a little bit more. Fingers spread wide. So on the next exhalation, let's take this right leg lifted and take it all the way over to the right so it becomes perpendicular to the trunk. Keep it lifted for a breath. And then we'll exhale, lower the foot down, toes facing forward or slightly inward to stretch the ankle, and then we'll inhale, lift the right arm upwards. Now check in with the hands, especially if you use your hands a lot through the day, any type of computer work, anything like that. Give some motion to the hand. Some circles, maybe opening, closing the hand a few times. Giving some circulation to the forearm and the wrist. And then on the next exhalation, set the right hand down. We'll inhale, pick up the right leg, and then swing it past the left ankle, keeping the right leg fairly straight. Set the right foot down, and you can have top of the foot down or ball of the foot. We'll look past the left shoulder, creating like a kind of like a C formation from the right toes to the crown of the head. Keeping the arms straight. Check in and see if you have the top of the foot down, roll over the toes, come to the toes, and if you have the toes down, then roll to the top of the foot, and just see how that feels in comparison. And then we'll be inhaling lifting that right leg and bringing the head back to center, bring the right leg to center, and exhale, take the right knee down, and then we'll work with the left side. So in the next inhalation, when you're ready, lift the left leg behind, press through the heel, straighten up the leg, and just feel the hip crease smooth out now, the top of the leg. Send the crown of the head forward, press into the palms, straighten the arms. Okay, next exhalation, take this left leg over to the left. Make it perpendicular to the trunk, just keeping it lifted for a breath, nice and straight. And then set this left foot down. That's an easy one to get cramped up. Like right now, I'm feeling that. So then once we straighten the leg, it kind of eases. And then we'll turn the left toes in slightly and lift the left arm upwards. Again, checking in with the wrist, maybe moving in the hand. Circling or open, closing. A couple more deep breaths. And then we'll exhale, lower the left hand. On the inhalation, lift the left leg. Exhaling, swinging it back past the right ankle, setting the foot down, and then turning the head to look over the right shoulder for the left foot. Keeping that left leg as straight as you can. And then switching, so if you're on the toes, come to the top of the foot and vice versa. And let's inhale, come back to center. Lift the leg, bring it to center, lower the knee down. And let's get off of the hands for a little bit. So we're going to come down to the belly. So you could find forearms first, and all the way down to the belly. And then we'll set the forehead down to the mat. Just tuck the elbows in towards the waist. Keep the feet together for a moment. So it's just semi-active in the legs. Just keeping this forehead supported by the mat for a moment, feeling the length of the neck. In the next inhalation, let's just start to activate the legs. So engage the thighs, engage the glutes. And then inhale, begin to pick up the forehead and the hands, hovering the hands and the forearms over the mat, squeezing the elbows back into the waist. We'll take 3 sets of this, so we'll add to the legs in a moment, but let's focus on the back. Another deep breath. Exhale, lowering the hands, chest, forehead. Take a deep breath in and out, maybe relax the legs completely. Heels move away from each other. And then we'll go into the next stage here. So we'll start to engage the legs. The feet might be together. Engage thighs and glutes. Inhale, lift the chest, the hands, the head. And now maybe you also lift the thighs, the legs. You can keep the heels kind of pressing in towards each other. They might even touch. Keep lifting the heart. Take 2 more deep breaths. Feet don't have to be together. Just make it a little bit more intense. Exhale, lower down. Release. Relax everything. Take a deep breath in and out. And then let's do one more here. So feet together, engage the thighs, the glutes. Begin to lift head, hands, and maybe also the feet and the legs. One more deep breath. And exhale, lower. I'm going to come into a half frog, but let's just take a nice clearing breath here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll start with the right leg. So you can bring the hands up a little bit and maybe bring the forearms so that they're alongside the short side of the mat. And we'll draw the right knee over to the right, so it'll come off of the mat. The left leg will just stay where it is. And then when you're ready, just rest maybe the left side of the face onto the mat. It doesn't feel like much is going on here, but it's just such a great way to rest. And very passively open up. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. And we'll start to switch sides. So when you're ready, bring right foot next to the left. Take the left knee over to the left. Nice deep bend there, and then right side of the face to the mat or to the hands. Just letting the body get heavy here. And then we'll take 5 deep breaths. Okay, we'll start to come out of this. We'll send this left foot next to the right. And then let's press our way out by pushing into the forearms and then coming to the knees, lifting the hips, and just walking the hands back to come into the child's posture where we started today. But it will feel different. So paying attention to those sensations, those differences. Here we can be a witness with our awareness once again to the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. And then when you're ready, let's rise up to table. We'll get a little bit more active, and then we'll sink into some more seated postures. So let's come into downward facing dog, taking hands forward a step, rolling over the toes, lifting the tailbone upwards, Maybe keeping the legs bent for now if you're feeling tightness there, or if it's hard to keep the tailbone lifted while you're here. You can play around with the position of the head, maybe look towards the navel, maybe look forward. Pull the low belly up. You can even pull up the pelvic floor. This helps us to manipulate the energy in the body. So about 3 more deep breaths, feeling that internal activation too. And as you're here, you're kind of turning the heels outward, even though you're pressing down into the toes, which are not moving. So we're internally rotating the hips. And then let's look forward. Step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Bring the left knee down, and the left knee is far behind the left hip. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Take the arms up. So kind of like crescent moon here. Well, it is crescent moon. Everybody has a different name for different postures. It's been called that. So we'll just take the arms up, lift the heart, finding a bit of a back bend. Sink in for another deep breath. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands down. Roll over the back toes, lift the left knee, and then step the left foot forward. Come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Just going to go through a couple variations of sun salutation to help open up the hip flexors. So in the next inhalation, rise halfway up. You can take maybe hands out to the sides, arms to the sides, or keep hands to the mat. And then we'll exhale, fold forward and release. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. You can unroll the spine or rise in a flat back. Reaching the arms up. Once you have the arms up, engage the thighs, the glutes, lift the toes. Let the head come back slightly. And then we'll exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Right on the next inhalation, sweep the arms right back up. Let the head come back, look up. Exhale, fold forward, release down. We're going to go to the same side as we did before. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, lower, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Bring the left knee down, same posture. Come back up, inhaling arms, heart and head up. 3 deep breaths, sinking into the right knee, but lifting up and out of the hips. It's pretty noisy out there, but I want the wind. So we'll exhale, take the hands down. And then let's take this right foot, we can roll over the back toes actually, and then lift the right foot back. And if you'd like, you could take a vinyasa there, or we could come right into downward facing dog. So we'll just kind of take a moment and then meet in downward facing dog. A couple deep breaths. Move into the left side. So when you're ready, step the left foot forward. Bring the right knee down, far behind the right hip. And then we'll inhale, rise. Chest, hands, the head, all lifting. We don't have to find a back bend here. So if it feels right just to kind of be reaching upwards, that's fine too. But if you'd like, you can start to reach back. Sinking forward into the left knee, 2 more breaths. Exhaling the hands down, roll over the back toes, lift the knee, step the right foot up to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Inhaling halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, releasing. Inhaling all the way up. Finding standing pause here. Reaching arms, reaching heart up. Maybe even lifting toes. And then we'll exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Let's reverse that. So inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold, step the right foot back. Come down to the right knee, which is far behind the right hip. Left knee is over the left ankle, and then inhale, rise. As soon as we get into this, about 3 deep breaths. And we'll exhale, lower the hands down. So we can roll over the toes, press the palms down. You know, that's a stronger way to get there. Or we can have hands down and just heel toe the left foot, come to the back of the mat. And then roll over the toes into downward facing dog. We'll take about 2 deep breaths, a little bit more active than a typical restful practice today. So we'll flip that around in a minute. So let's just go through this once more, but we'll just take about 2 breaths in those lunges each way. So when you're ready, step the right foot forward, and if you want, you can lift that right leg up behind first. And we'll step it forward, bring the left knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. The top of the left foot is on the mat. Once we find our way up, we'll take another full breath. Exhale, hands down, roll over the back toes, step up to a forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. Inhaling all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up. Exhaling, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. So a little bit quicker now. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward, releasing down. Inhaling, halfway lengthening. Exhale, folding, stepping left foot again to the back of the mat. Left knee comes down. We'll rise up. Once you settle in here, take another deep breath. And then exhale the hands down. Come back to downward facing dog, or again, maybe you take a vinyasa in between. One more breath. Let's step the left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, rise up. Sink in, and then another full breath. Exhaling, hands down, roll over the back toes, step up to a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lengthening. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. This is our final little part here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, right foot to the back of the mat. Right knee comes down. Inhale, rise. And then we'll exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. We're going to turn this into a heart chakra posture, or some call it puppy pose. Let's take the knees all the way down to the mat. We'll keep the hips over the knees. And then we'll slide the palms all the way forward, keeping the forearms lifted. So see if the forehead can come down to the mat and with the forearms lifted, and if not, that's indicating some tightness in the shoulders, in the chest. So you can bring a block to the forehead if that's the case. But then from here, with every exhalation, we'll start to send the heart down. And if you feel like you need more, then you can just lift the head, look forward, and keep sending the heart down. Tailbone lifting towards the sky. Two more breaths. And we'll inhale, start to slide the palms back into hands and knees. We're going to thread the needle, get rid of some tension under the shoulder blade. So knees under hips, inhale, lift the right arm up towards the sky, open the chest. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left arm, come all the way down to the right shoulder, right side of the face. You can separate the knees a little bit more if it helps you settle in. And then for a couple breaths, we'll just be right here. If this left arm, you can lift it, you can wrap it around the back, whatever feels right for the left arm. But we're going to focus now on straightening the right arm and then drawing that right shoulder back. We're drawing the arm kind of back into the shoulder socket. Kind of like you're now reaching the fingers forward away from the shoulder. So you're building a little bit of tension here, some activation. And that's going to help release tension. And we'll settle the left palm down. If it's risen, inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, take the hand down, we'll switch sides. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, thread left arm underneath right, all the way down to left shoulder, left side of the face. And whatever you did on the other side, just balance it out on this side. So another breath, and then we'll straighten this arm. So straightening means just more straight because the elbow kind of relaxes otherwise. So straightening and then kind of reaching fingers forward away from the shoulder, and then pull this left arm back into the shoulder socket. One more breath. We'll exhale, right palm down if it was risen. Inhale, lift the left arm up. And then exhale, take the hand down. Let's come to seated. So we'll cross the ankles and find a seat. I like staying close to the ground on Tuesday evenings as much as I can. So we're just going to skip over any balancing postures today. So let's start by crossing the ankles, sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll have the hands to the knees and just begin to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and then release them down. So you can do that on the exhalation. On the inhalation, shrug the shoulders up, straightening the arms. Exhale, release the shoulders. About 3 more of these. And now we'll just leave the shoulders down, but let's take them back as much as we can and then lower them down. We'll take a little bit of a twist here. So let's begin to turn to the right, take the right hand behind, fingers face back, left hand to right knee. Get nice and tall first, draw the chin in slightly, and then begin to turn to the right. Turning the head as far right as you can without jutting the chin forward. Turning the eyes as far right as you can. One more breath. Inhale, come to center. And then we'll exhale, turning to the left to set up. Left hand behind, fingers face back, right hand to left knee. Get tall first, draw the chin in slightly. And then when you're ready, press into the hands to turn to the left. Finding that length on the inhalation, crown of the head reaching up. On the exhalation, turning as much as you can to the left. Face, the eyes. And we'll inhale, come to center. Let's take a hold of the right leg and cradle it a little bit. So let's see if we want to hold it with the hands. Maybe the elbows can get to foot and knee, and then see if it's comfortable to keep the left leg bent or more comfortable to keep the leg straight. And then we'll just start to move it side to side a little bit. Seeing if we can keep the heart lifted. And then we'll let the leg come to center and just start to pull the leg up using the strength of the arms. Keep the chest lifted. It's easy to collapse here, so we're kind of creating tension between the arms and the leg. Let's say 2 more deep breaths. We're going to see if we want to turn this into a double pigeon or across the ankles. So let's go ahead and start to let the leg go and see if it goes comfortably enough on top of the left leg so that the shins are in line with each other. And then if not, then just bring foot in front of left shin or across the ankles. And then we'll go ahead and start to fold. So we'll start with length first, reaching the arms upwards. Another deep breath. This is a good spot for props, so just in case. Then we'll go ahead and exhale lower, bringing the hands down. And then finding a place for the forehead to rest without the head being significantly lower than the back. So I want to kind of keep them in line to some degree. So, for me, a block would make more sense. So just check in and see what works for you. Now, if you're here comfortably enough, let's find the yoga hand gesture behind the back. So we're just going to take the hands behind the back. And so we have right leg that we're working with. So kind of balancing it out with the hands, we're going to be holding the right wrist with the left fingers behind the back. It's just a nice touch. And then we'll let the shoulders start to just relax here. So you might even notice them rounding a bit. And we're going to be here, let's say, for at least another minute. So really letting yourself release into this posture and letting the mind release. And right now we're witnessing the seasons changing. It's becoming more and more obvious every day. So maybe this is a good time to kind of feel that you can expand past this body and into the natural world around you. And just being with the wind and the trees, the animals, the minerals, all the motion of life outside of this body. Breathing into that space. So we're going to start to come out of this. That was over a 2-minute hold. It just felt too good. So we're going to start to rise up. And then we'll be finding twists again. So cross your ankles in the opposite order you had them earlier. So if you had right in front, then switch that around. Whatever is not your habitual way of being seated. And we'll get nice and tall, and then we'll be twisting to the left. So let's take right hand to left knee, left hand behind, get tall, and then turning. We'll inhale, find center. Exhale, twist right. Getting tall first, remembering to keep the chin in slightly. And we'll inhale, come back to center. So now we'll be cradling the left leg. So when you're ready, pick it up and find the right position for the hands and the left leg and also the right leg. And then just start to move left leg side to side. Nice gentle cradle. And then we'll find the center and just start to focus on pulling this leg in towards the chest, using strength of the arms. Doing your best not to collapse into the spine, but finding the spine stretched up. And we'll start to release to find our fold. So set up your legs in the way that works best for you. Maybe lower legs are in line with each other. And then once you find a tall seat, reach the arms upwards, inhaling, lifting. Exhale, fold. Finding the forehead resting, maybe on the mat, maybe on the block, or blankets, or book. And then once we have the body situated, we'll take the hands behind, and then right fingers will hold left wrist. Yoga hand gesture. Letting the shoulders drop down. And then now we'll be here for a little bit so we can connect with surrounding life, right? By taking your awareness outside of the physical body that you're constantly taking care of and dealing with, taking that awareness out into surrounding nature and being with the motion of life. Still settling into that space of nature. About 3 or 4 more deep breaths. And then we'll start to come out. So let's start to straighten the legs a little bit now, get them forward, find some extension. They've been bent for a little bit. And we'll try some different things here. We're going to keep the feet apart, but not super wide, just to the edges of the mat. Keep the knees bent and flex the feet. And then we'll start to roll down. So roll the chin down towards the chest and take a breath here. And then begin to round the shoulders and lower a little bit more through the upper back. Lower a little bit more through the middle back. And now we are going to let the spine collapse. So bringing the hands to the insides of the legs and then just folding into the space. The feet apart, the legs apart, the arms to the inside of the legs. Just letting the back round. Maybe you're able to get a little bit lower and walk the hands forward a bit, but keep the elbows bent. If you feel elbows and knees bent. About 3 more deep breaths. And then we'll start to rise. Let's reverse out, so we'll unroll. So the head will be the last to rise. Now we'll find a little bit more extension in the legs. So we'll bring the left leg pretty much to center now, to neutral position, and then bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. We'll come into head to knee posture. Flex the left foot, maybe bend the left knee if you're still tight there. We'll take the arms up, reaching up, and then exhale, fold forward, taking a hold of maybe the back of the thigh, back of the calf, or the foot. Inhale, find length, lifting the heart. Exhale, sending the heart forward. Gazing past the left toes. And looking to send the heart towards the left foot. So we'll be here for 3 more breaths. And then we're going to let ourselves collapse into this. So whenever you're ready, just let the hands release, maybe alongside the leg, and then set the head down and just let go. Maybe now we round the back, it's okay. Take a couple deep breaths. And then start to rise. We'll switch legs. Right leg extended, left foot to right thigh, right foot is flexed. Inhaling, reaching arms upwards, look up. Exhale, folding. Keeping length in the back to start. Find the right place for the hands. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, send the heart forward towards the right foot. Gazing past the right toes for the first few breaths. And now we're going to start to collapse in. So when you're ready, release the hands and then just lower the head and round the back. Feel yourself letting go on every exhalation. And we'll start to rise, unrolling the spine. We're just about ready to rest, but I'd like to do a little bit more opening in the chest and find a back bend after what we've just done. So let's cross the ankles, roll forward onto the knees. I said a back bend, but I meant a chest opener. We'll see about a back bend. We're going to come to standing on the knees, and we'll be finding just like a baby headstand, but simply keeping knees down. We'll take hands behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, feel the shoulder blades draw towards each other, lift the heart, feel the front of the shoulders separate, the chest open. Another deep breath. And then we'll keep the hands as they are and start to lower the forehead down to the mat, keeping the hips over the knees. Once we have the forehead meet the mat, then we'll roll to the crown of the head. If you have a really hard floor underneath and not enough cushion on the mat, maybe grab a blanket or roll over the mat, roll the mat over really quick. You'll have to release hands, obviously. Probably should have mentioned that. And then we'll just be here, sending the arms up overhead. On the top of the head. Taking 2 more breaths. Exhale, release the hands from each other, bring the palms down, lift the trunk up, and then roll over or come back to seated. Let's work on the neck, and then we're going to be resting. So sitting up nice and tall again. I'll take the shoulders up, back, down, and then let's just turn the head left and right a few times. Doesn't have to be at the same rate as the breath, just a turn and a turn. And then we'll bring the head to center and then lower the chin down and up. Going through a few more of these. Then we'll keep the chin down and just begin to send the chin over towards the left side of the chest and then over towards the right side of the chest like a pendulum. Go back and forth a few more times. And then we'll let the chin lower into center. And then bring the head back up into neutral. And then we'll send the right ear up towards the sky. So it's a little tilt with the head, but we're focused on the ear sending up. So we could find lots of lengthening and extension in the right side of the neck. Especially in this space, letting all emotional tension, mental tension, physical tension, all related to each other, letting that dissolve. And then we'll bring the head back to center. And we'll go into the other side, lift the left ear up. Focusing on dissolving tension in the physical, emotional, and mental. And we'll bring the head back to center. So just give the head a little bit of motion here, maybe circles or semicircles, just to refine that openness. And then we're going to come all the way down to the back, getting ready to rest. Let's start with a spinal twist. So we'll take the arms out to a T, and we'll bring the knees into the chest. And then let the knees fold over to the right. keeping shoulder blades down, turning the head to the left. We'll bring the knees back to center and take them over to the left. Shoulder blades down, head turns towards the right. And now releasing any effort in the breath. So letting the body do the breathing now without any energy on your part. And we'll inhale, bring the knees to center. Give them a big squeeze with the arms. Maybe rock a little side to side. We're going to set up for final resting posture, Shavasana. So you can take the feet to the corners of the mat. Let the toes turn away from each other. Take the shoulders back and then let the weight of the body stabilize the shoulders. Keep the arms away from the trunk, at least 8 inches or so. Palms flipped up towards the sky. The next inhalation, we're going to tense up the whole body and then relax it on the exhalation. So when you're ready, inhale, create fists, close the toes, shut the eyes tight, clench the jaw, engage the thighs, the calves, the glutes, the back, the belly, the arms, and then exhale, release. Let everything go. Let's do this one more time. Inhaling, tensing everything up. Every muscle you can bring your awareness to. And then exhale, release, and relax. And now finding that the feet are getting heavier, the legs are getting heavier, the hips are relaxing completely, the back is relaxing, the chest releasing, relaxing, the arms are heavy from shoulders to fingertips, the neck is released, the head is simply on the mat without your effort at all. Allowing the body to become as still as possible as you put no effort into moving the body. And now you simply watch the natural motion of the body itself, resting in that motion. Resting. Resting into the eyes. Resting into the brain. Resting into the heart. Resting into the stomach, the digestive organs. Resting into the belly. Resting into the lungs. Resting. without changing anything at all. Just begin to bring your awareness to the body and fill your awareness into the entire space of the body. Now begin to fill your awareness into the entire room that you're in. Fill up all the corners. Now fill your awareness into the entire building that this room is in. Like you are now moving into all of the spaces of the building. And now move outside of the building with your awareness and fill yourself into all the spaces in this environment around the building. Maybe by a few feet, maybe by a few miles, maybe even further. And just connecting with the life all around in every way. Stay with that feeling of expansion and begin to deepen the breath. Begin to bring movement to the hands and the feet. Maybe send the arms behind and find length, bringing the feet together and pointing the toes. Deepening every breath, coming back, bringing the knees into the chest. Maybe some swaying side to side. And then depending on how you feel, you might roll to the side to prepare to rise, or you might rock right up energetically. We'll seal our practice by bringing palms together and closing the eyes and just sensing the body, the heart, and the mind. Sensing that everything has settled and that we come to a sense of peace. We'll seal our practice with the sound of Om. You can listen or you can join me. So we'll start with a deep breath in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.